working on something super valuable, working on something that is going to be able to bring some meaning to others, working on something that is going to be able to help and benefit others, working on something that is really going to be able to transform what it is that you do in this world and what it is that you're going to be able to experience. I think that sometimes we forget working on the main thing that we need to be working on, and that main thing is ourselves. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th, 1986. And today, I don't know what it is, but I just want to talk about the concept of making sure that we are working upon ourselves to be able to be the best of ourselves, to be able to put out to the rest of the people so that they can be able to actually experience something great and something wonderful. Hey, Oriole? Because if we're not working upon ourselves and we're not staying dedicated with making sure that we're getting ourselves into a better place, you're not going to be able to provide much of anything to anybody else, because you're always going to be slacking in something, lacking in something, desiring something, requiring something that in reality someone else is just not going to be able to give you. They're not going to be able to give you the information that you need. They're not going to be able to give you the love that you need. They're not going to be able to give you the foundation that you need to figure out how to be able to survive and thrive and be able to just express and be yourself. They're not going to be able to help you break out of your shell to be able to just realize that you are an incredible person on this planet. So one thing that I do know that we need to really focus majority of our time on is in reality working upon ourselves, because if we're not doing that, there's no way that we can help the person next to us. Because if we have insecurities about some things, we're going to push those insecurities onto other people. If we're in fear about certain things, we're going to push those fears onto other people. That's why it's an interesting thing of just watching more and more people and talking to more and more people and being around a lot of people. Is a lot of us are in a whole lot of amount of fear today. And it's because we saw fear, we grew up in fear, we were around fear, so that fear has just been pushed onto everyone. And as long as we all keep staying in this high level of fear, we're always just going to keep on just sabotaging the future to come for anything else out here. Because if we don't work on ourselves to get out of the fear, we're going to put everyone around us in that same fear. And that's something that is very tragic, I'm going to say. Very tragic for me to have to really just realize more and more about myself and what it is that I'm doing with myself, to just keep on remembering, to keep on working upon myself and not thinking that someone else is going to be able to bring what it is that my glory, my grace, my awesomeness, my beauty. Something that only I can figure out my own self. And something that I've come to realize, especially the older and older I get, that there's nothing else out there that's going to be able to bring you the peace that you're looking for, other than just you and in my opinion, having a relationship with God and understanding who God's all about. Something about that has been able to really transform me in a way to be able to allow me to be able to see things differently. I'm not perfect, and I'm never going to be perfect. I'm going to do some things and say some things and be about some things that are going to be not to me making sure that I'm working upon myself. And that's why every time I have the opportunity to be able to make a video like this, I get to really check myself and look back at myself to figure out, like, what is it that you're doing, Mark? Where is it that you're going? Are you still on the mission of making sure that you're getting in a better place, or are you at a standstill, or worst case, are you getting worse? And sometimes I have to really, really study my own self, where that's something that I would recommend a lot of people to start focusing on and start doing. Start writing, start journaling. Start making some simple videos of yourself and just talking about what you're doing and where you're going and what your plans are, so that you can look back at it a couple of weeks and just say, hey, like, man, I'm still on board with what I was doing. I'm still on board with where I was. Or to look back and just say, hey, like, actually, I'm not where I thought I would be today. And for some reason, I haven't been thinking about it. So that's what's really led me to not really actually pay attention to it or even notice it in reality. It's something that is very, very valuable to us as people, to be able to study ourselves, to be able to allow people around us to be able to look at us and be able to say to us, like, hey, man, hey, girl, you're not doing so well with that right there anymore. You need to start figuring out how to be able to get back into what you used to do, because what you're doing right now is headed off the cliff. And it's something that is very tragic, because the only way that we're going to be able to get better is to better our own selves, and not thinking that someone else is going to be able to do that for us. Someone else can give us some ideas and some insight of what's going on, but in reality, most people just don't actually just say what it is. They're always just dancing around like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Yeah, you're going to be all right with everything. Yeah, and in most cases, most people are kind of in a way of jealous and envious about what it is that you have and what it is that you're doing, that even if you don't have anything, even if you are struggling, even if you are lacking, even if you are behind on everything, you still have something that someone else just wishes that they could have. You have something. There's something that a whole lot of people in this world have that in reality I wish I could have. And I have some stuff that y'all would look at me and just say, man, just give me a fraction of what you got, man, and I'd be so happy. But there's one thing that I will say that I do know as a matter of fact is material possessions are not going to make you happy. Material possessions are not going to be able to bring the fulfillment that you think that you want. The only thing that's going to be able to bring that fulfillment to you is being able to work upon yourself, to be able to recognize yourself, realize yourself, take yourself out of your insecurities, and figure out who you are, and figure out what you're all about. Figure out what you're able to take care of. Figure out what you would allow into your life. Figure out what you would allow people to be able to do for you and do to you. That's something that for me, I feel like I've been challenged with just allowing things to just go on and not really put myself out there to say like, no, I don't like that. No, don't do that. No, don't say that. And I would just let it go, because not being so 100% firm with like knowing that I create the reality that's around me. That if I allow certain things to just keep on going on, then I'm going to allow someone else to be able to create that reality. That's something that is just super, super powerful, that I understand it. When my dad, he used to say a lot of very, very powerful things to me as a kid, and just basically mainly on the concept of who you hanging out with. He was very, very selective about who I was able to hang out with and where I was able to go and what I was able to do, because he knew that if I was hanging out with the wrong people, I would start being the wrong people. And in reality, that was tested, proven for my own self when I started to get older and started to hang out with the people that he specifically told me not to. I ended up in jail. I ended up with a whole lot of problems. I ended up with just a whole lot of drama that led me to a whole lot more complications in life that in reality I shouldn't and wouldn't and don't care to even be able to be a part of. And there's something about that just really has me thinking, because it's something that if you don't know who you are and you don't work on yourself to be able to figure out what it is that you would accept and what it is that you won't accept, you're just going to allow anything to be able to be around you and be able to do whatever it is to you. You're going to allow anything to be able to just start to change you. You're going to allow anything to just be able to start to mold you into being what it is that you never thought that you would be. And it's something that we all should start to work really hard upon, is really wondering what information is being fed to us, what information is being brought to us, what information is constantly being forced to us to keep on seeing, to, in a way, like break you down slowly but surely, to get you to start to think and believe and be about a certain thing that is in reality not looking out for the best for you. It's just looking out for the best for who knows what it even wants, but it's not looking out for the best of you. And someone looking out for the best of themselves to get what they need, that may not be what it is that you need. And that's something that I'm going to pretty much guarantee, that we all can look at each other and say, hey, I know that that's what you should do, and that's what would be best for you, and that's what you would shine at and be doing the most wonderful work behind. But in reality, that may not actually bring the fulfillment to you that you actually do need. That we can take recommendations and listen to what people have to say, but at the end of the day, it's got to be based on what it is that we actually desire, that we want to do, that's really going to bring us to fulfillment. Because in reality, there's some things, just a simple thing that I was doing with changing up some stuff with my chickens out here, that I thought it would work, I thought it would be fine. But come to realize, like, no, it actually didn't work. So for me to just do it, me to just make it happen, me to just not keep thinking about it like, man, I want to try this, and then not putting any action on it, but actually putting an action on something that someone told me it's not going to work. Someone told me, and I watched many videos of this guy saying that what I was doing was not going to work. But I was like, nah, mine's going to work. It's going to be fine. But I never would have been able to really get to that point of like, oh, okay, it doesn't, without just doing it for my own self. And sometimes that's just what we need to do. We need to just do it for ourselves, to just realize like that actually didn't work out. That didn't come out to be the way that I thought, even though someone did say to you, hey, don't do that. But in reality, when that starts to happen, you're going to really start to trust and believe a little bit more about what the other people have to say, because you're gonna run into the situation of just running into failure after failure and realizing like, hey, maybe something does need to happen here. Maybe I do need to pay more attention here. Maybe I do need to focus a little bit more upon myself to figure out how to be able to get through some things. Maybe I need to figure out what's the blockage behind me that's making me just reject what everybody has to say to me. And it's sometimes that the main things behind that is just us working on ourselves and getting out of our insecurities, and also getting off our high horse of thinking that we're just the best and we know it all and we got it all figured out. Because there's no one on this planet that does. That's why we have such a battle going on our planet right now, with everyone just wanting to fight with each other and everyone just wanting to disagree with each other, because we think that we know it all, we think that we're the best, and we don't, and we're not. And it's something that a lot of us should just really focus a lot more of our time on, a lot more of our energy on, in figuring out how to be able to be complete with just you. Be able to sit with just yourself, be able to be alone and realize what it is that I want, what it is that I don't want. And the things that you don't want, and someone starts doing that, just stand up and just say it. Hey, I don't like that. I don't want that. And be able to just stick firm with that and be able to explain that without feeling like you got to dance around it, because that may be the last, and you may not have another chance. And that's something that I know many people go through that, because I research this a whole lot and I pay real close attention to a lot of different things that go on this planet. And I know a lot of people are just dealing. And we shouldn't have to do that, because we should know who we are. we should be able to stand up and be able to recognize and look ourselves in the mirror and just say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is what I want to accept into my life. And just know that that's just what it is that you have to keep on pursuing. And don't think that there's not enough out here for all of us to be able to have. There's enough. There's enough. There's enough trees. There's enough grass. There's enough air. There's enough water. But we just like to pressure and abuse and manipulate to try to think that that's not the case. And that is the case. There is enough out here. And the more that we really start to just stand up and start to pay attention to that, the better off we're really going to start to be able to become on this planet. And with that, I just want to say thank you for a very interesting day. An absolute massive rain came in today. It felt like it was just a very symbolic thing that went on in my life with what's going on in my life. That the rain just came hard. It came hard, it came heavy, and it came at the exact right time, that the exact right moment that I needed it. And I'm very, very thankful for that. Because it's very interesting being here in the state of Texas, that especially just being out here on this land. Hey, Oreo. Hey, Oreo. Being out here on this land that this is the first time I'm seeing some rain coming down in reality in some June time, and it's super fascinating to me because everything, hey, Oreo, because everything out here is really starting to just get into a better and better place. And it's something for me to just keep on getting super excited about in a way, because it's something that's different. It's something that's new. It's something that when new stuff comes and different stuff comes, it gets me super excited, but it also gets me very, very nervous. And I'm thankful to be able to be nervous, because if I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know what's going to go down, it kind of brings a level of excitement to you. So I look more at my nervousness as more of like a nice level of excitement that can come to me. And it's something that really keeps me on my toes in a way, but it also lets me know what it is that I'm not going to deal with, what it is that I'm not going to accept in my life. And it allows me to be able to just really think a lot about what it is that I want to keep on pursuing and where it is that I want to go, to be able to figure out what's actually going down, what's actually happening, what's actually going on around my life, what's actually people's intentions with me. And it makes me just question and challenge a lot. And it makes me have to do some things, some different things to figure out what the true intentions are. And I'm thankful to be able to have discernment, to be able to really recognize and see what is helping me and what is hurting me, what is trying to put me into a better place, and what's trying to make me go back to my same old things again. There's some stuff that I just said to myself a year ago and months ago that I said I'm never going back to that. I guess today it's over a year ago now for pretty much everything. I said I'm not going back to that. And I always question when someone tries to get me to go back to that, of like, what are your true intentions with me? Because I know what it is that I want, and I know what it is that I've said, and I know what it is that I'm doing. But if you want me to go back to that must mean that you're not looking out for the best of me. That's something that I would want to challenge a lot of people to just really pay attention to, what it is that's going on around you. Because if you're allowing others to just be able to like kind of change you, that means that you don't really feel confident with knowing who you are still. And that's something that I would want to figure out how we can get better with that, get more information with that, so that we can finally be able to take care of ourselves. Thank you.